Honey, sit down. No, seriously, grab a drink, grab a snack, maybe grab a stress ball because you are going to need to squeeze something by the time I am done with this mess. You think you know what betrayal feels like? You think you've heard every cheating story under the sun? Let me tell you, what I have been living through for the last month makes Jerry Springer look like a PBS documentary. We are talking biblical levels of backstabbing, family destruction, and a climax so dark I am still processing it myself. The hook. It happened last Monday. The call, the one you dread, but in my case, the one I felt nothing about. My mother was on the other end of the line, shrieking, guttural sounds that didn't even sound human. She told me my sister, Chloe, was dead, self-inflicted, gone. And as I stood there in my kitchen, holding the phone, listening to my mother mourn the woman who had shared a womb with me, I realized something that terrified me more than the death itself. I wasn't sad. I wasn't relieved. I was just cold. Because how do you mourn a sister who had been sleeping with your husband since the night before your wedding? The backstory. Let me rewind the tape so you understand how we got to this nightmare. My name is Elena. I'm 28. My husband, well, soon-to-be ex-husband, is Mark, 30. We've been together for 9 years, married for 2, or at least I thought we were together. Mark was the golden boy. You know the type? Charismatic, 6'3", that smile that makes you feel like you're the only person in the room. We were the couple everyone rooted for. High school sweethearts, built a life together, the whole white picket fence fantasy. Then there was my sister, Chloe. She was 26. We were never the Gilmore Girls, okay? We didn't braid each other's hair and talk about boys all night. We were different. She was always a little more chaotic, a little more desperate for attention, but we didn't hate each other. She was my blood. When Mark and I got married, she was my maid of honor. She gave a toast that made the whole room cry. She stood there in her silk dress, looking like an angel, telling me how lucky I was to find a love like Mark. If I knew then what I know now, I would have dragged her off that stage by her hair. The escalation. It started with the gut feeling. You know what I'm talking about, ladies? That itch at the back of your neck. Mark started getting weird, protective over his phone, taking long showers, flipping the screen face down on the nightstand. I tried to ignore it. I told myself I was being paranoid. He loves me, I thought. We've been together a decade. But the intuition never sleeps. One Tuesday night, Mark passed out early. He's a heavy sleeper, like earthquake couldn't wake him heavy. I was lying there, staring at the ceiling, and his phone buzzed on the nightstand. Just once. But the screen lit up the room like a spotlight. I reached over. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped it on his face. I knew his passcode. It was our anniversary. 10:14. I typed it in, and my heart was hammering against my ribs like it was trying to break out of my chest. I didn't go to text immediately. I went to a secure messaging app he had hidden in a folder labeled Finance. Why would a messaging app be in finance? I opened it, and there it was, the message that ended my life as I knew it. I really do love you, and I love the love we make, but I'm tired of being your little secret. This has been going on for too long. You need to tell her, or I will. The sender? See, I felt the blood drain from my face. My stomach dropped into my shoes. I clicked on the profile picture. It wasn't a random girl from the bar. It wasn't an ex-girlfriend. It was a selfie of my sister, Chloe, blowing a kiss to the camera. If you are already shook, hit that like button right now because I haven't even gotten to the sickest part yet. You need to strap in. The climax? I didn't think, I didn't plan, I just screamed. I screamed so loud, I think I woke up the neighbors 3 houses down. I shook Mark awake, shoving the phone an inch from his nose. What is this? Who is this? I was shrieking. He woke up groggy, confused. But the second his eyes focused on that screen, I saw his soul leave his body. He turned ghost white. He didn't even try to deny it. He didn't say, "It's not what it looks like." He just collapsed. He curled into a ball and started sobbing. And then the truth came out. It wasn't a one-time drunken mistake. Oh no, that would have been too easy. He told me through these pathetic heaving sobs that it started the night before our wedding, the rehearsal dinner. While I was upstairs stressing about seating charts and flowers, my sister had cornered him. She begged him not to marry me. She told him he was making a mistake. And this man who stood at the altar and vowed to cherish me, he told her no, he loved me. And then he slept with her. They hooked up for the first time hours before he married me. And it didn't stop there. He told me about her 25th birthday party, 3 months after the wedding. I was there. I planned the damn party. He told me he went to use the bathroom and she followed him in. She seduced him right there with family and friends just outside the door eating cake. He said he couldn't stop himself. Then they both walked back out to the party like nothing happened, smiling, laughing, hugging me for 2 years. 2 years of family holidays, birthdays, Sunday dinners. Every time they looked at me, they were laughing behind my back. I lost my mind. I went full waiting to exhale. I grabbed his clothes, his expensive suits, his shoes, his favorite jerseys, and I dragged them to the backyard. I fired up the grill. I threw everything on there. The smell of burning polyester and leather filled the neighborhood, and I didn't care. He was on his knees in the grass, begging, "Please, Elena, I'll cut her off. We can move away. We can start over. I love you." I turned around and spit directly in his face. "I hate you," I said, my voice dead calm. "I never want to see you again." I got in my car and drove straight to my parents' house. It was 2 a.m. I pounded on the door until my dad opened it, looking terrified. I walked in, sat them down, and vomited the entire truth. At first, they looked at me like I was crazy. Chloe, their baby? No way. So I called Mark, put him on speaker, and I let them hear him beg for forgiveness. I let them hear him admit that he had been sleeping with their youngest daughter for 2 years. My mom looked like she had been shot. My dad just put his head in his hands. The next morning, Chloe showed up at my parents' house. She didn't know I knew. She strolled in, saw me crying on the couch, and had the audacity, the unmitigated gall to ask, "What's wrong? Is everything okay?" I snapped. The rage that took over my body wasn't something I can even describe. It was primal. I didn't say a word. I just launched myself at her. I'm 5'7", 140 pounds. She's the same size. But that day, I was a giant. I tackled her. I was punching, scratching, screaming. I gave her a black eye instantly. I slammed her face into the floor so hard I knocked one of her front teeth out. I heard the crack. My dad had to physically pull me off her. My mom, my sweet, gentle mother, who has never hurt a fly, she walked up to Chloe, who was bleeding and crying on the floor, and she slapped her across the face so hard it echoed. "You cheap woman," my mom hissed. "Get out of my house." Chloe started wailing, begging my mom to forgive her. Not me, she was begging mom. She didn't even look at me. My mom pushed her out the front door and locked it. The fallout. The weeks that followed were a blur of insanity. Mark wouldn't leave me alone. He became a stalker. He showed up at my job. He followed me to the bank. He popped up in the grocery store aisle while I was buying cereal. He even made a Facebook post, a public essay, admitting everything. He tagged me, tagged her, tagged everyone. He expressed his deep love and guilt and said he would accept any punishment. He thought falling on his sword publicly would make me forgive him. It just made me look at him with more disgust. I told him to go screw himself. Meanwhile, Chloe, her life imploded. Mark had ghosted her the second he got caught. He threw her under the bus to try and save his marriage. A friend sent me a screenshot of a post Chloe made before she deleted her social media. It read, "I can't believe this. For 2 years, he held me, kissed me, made love to me, and made me feel like I was his world. Now he ghosts me like the last 2 years didn't happen. Why is this happening to me? Why won't you answer the phone? Why don't you love me anymore? Can you believe that?" She wasn't apologizing to me. She was crying because her boyfriend, my husband, stopped texting her back. People in our town put 2 and 2 together fast. She got destroyed online. She had to quit her job because her coworkers found out. Her friends dropped her because, honestly, who trusts a woman who sleeps with her sister's husband? My parents refused to speak to her. She was isolated, completely alone. I was angry. I was bitter. I drove to her apartment one night, just wanting answers. I pounded on the door, screaming, "Why, Chloe, was it worth it?" She didn't open the door. She called the police on me. I left before they got there, but that was the last time I was near her. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel right now because the update I am about to drop is going to change the entire tone of this story, and you need to hear this. Update 1. The call. Last Monday on the 16th, I got the call. Chloe was dead. They found a note. In it, she explained how guilty she felt for falling in love with Mark. She said she couldn't help her feelings. She wrote that she couldn't live knowing everyone hated her, especially me. She said she knew she shouldn't feel victimized because I was the one betrayed, but the pain was too much. I read that note, and you want to know the truth? I don't believe it. I know my sister. I know Chloe. She didn't do this because of guilt over betraying me. If she felt guilty, she wouldn't have done it for 2 years with a smile on her face. She did it because Mark cut her off. She did it because she lost the prize she had stolen. Since everything came to light, Mark had been showing me the messages she sent him, hundreds of them, begging him to talk to her, leaving voicemails screaming that she couldn't live without him. It was obsession. It was fatal attraction. So here I am. My sister is dead. My husband is dead to me. And I am standing in the wreckage of my life feeling nothing. Update 2, the funeral decision. So, the funeral is tomorrow, and the internet has been having a field day with me. I posted about this on a forum just to vent, and the comments, wow. People are calling me a monster because I said I wasn't sad. One person wrote, "You and your family have been mistreating your sister for years. You beat her up and your mom slapped her. You drove her to this." Let me clarify something right now. My parents were never abusive. My mom slapping Chloe was the first time she ever raised a hand to anyone. Was it wrong? Maybe. But my sister had been sleeping with my husband for 2 years. And yes, I beat her up. I'm not proud of it. I saw red. I reacted with violence because the betrayal was so deep it broke my brain. I'm not a violent person, but in that moment, I wanted to hurt her the way she hurt me. People ask why I'm not angry at Mark. Oh, honey, I am. I burned his clothes. I spit in his face. I am divorcing him. But physically, I can't beat up a man who is 6'3" and 230 pounds. It's not physics. Chloe was my size. That's just the reality. I decided I am going to the funeral, not for her, but for my parents. They are broken. They lost a daughter, even if she was a traitor. They are paying for everything. They are in a huge wreck. I'm not going to cause a scene. I'm not going to have a tantrum. I'm just going to sit there, support my mom and dad, and bury the past. Mark? I haven't spoken to him since I found out she was gone. I blocked his number. I blocked his socials. I heard from a friend that he's a mess, but I don't care. Final update, the resolution. It's been a few weeks since the funeral. It was awkward, tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. A lot of people were whispering. I kept my sunglasses on and my mouth shut. I still love Mark. I know that sounds stupid. You can't just turn off 9 years of love like a light switch. Part of me, the weak part, wants to work it out just to spite Chloe. Just to say, you tried to ruin us, but we survived. But then the other part of me, the part with morals, kicks in. I can't picture my life without him, but every time I look at his face, I see her. I see them in that bathroom at the birthday party. I see them on the night before my wedding. I refuse to live the rest of my life torturing myself with those mental images. So I'm done. I'm packing my bags. I'm looking at apartments in Iowa, literally halfway across the country, just to get away from the memories and the stalking. I have a lawyer. We are filing for divorce on the grounds of adultery. With the texts, the confession, and his public Facebook post, the courts are going to rule in my favor. He won't have a leg to stand on. Mark is losing his wife, his mistress is dead, and his reputation is trash. I guess that's karma. As for me, I'm going to therapy. I have a lot to unpack, but I am walking away with my head high. I didn't break this family, they did. I'm just the one who has to sweep up the pieces. Outro. So that's my story. It's ugly, it's tragic, and nobody wins. But I have a question for you guys in the comments, and I want you to be honest with me. If you were in my shoes and your sibling did this to you, would you cry at their funeral or would you feel exactly what I'm feeling? Absolutely nothing. Let me know down below. And if you made it this far, hit that subscribe button because trust me, my life is a movie and I'll be back if Mark tries anything else crazy. Stay spicy, stay loyal, and check your husband's phone tonight. Bye.